So this is the future of coaching, real time. And then after the call, we're able to pick up things like key insights and objections, but also tell you how much you as a seller followed the recommendations of the AI coach.
Because every manager has that one rep who's incredibly charming in interviews, mysterious in the first quarter, and then quietly exits by month 6. If Dextego can flag that in week 2, you just saved every sales leader.
Okay, yeah, I have a call recorder, so I coach my team. No, you don't. You just get a summary of what happened. This is not coaching. Coaching has to be the right time, in the right tone, for the right reasons, and it has to be actionable. If it doesn't change behavior, it's not coaching, it's just information sharing. And to me, behavioral change is, I've never had it that building an AI coaching platform to make people more human is a big irony, but it is indeed, in my opinion, the best use case of AI. It should really be there to allow us to reach our full potential, not to replace it.
You are watching 101 Talks with Sachin Menon. Breaking down complex ideas into simple conversations.
What if your sales team could practice a tough conversation with your exact buyer, their personality, their objections, their communication style before the actual call happens? Not a role play with a colleague who is being kind, not a manager giving you feedback after the deal is already lost. The real thing, yeah, before it matters. That is exactly what we are getting in today. And welcome back to 101 Talks. I am your host, Sachin Menon. And if you're new here, this is the show where we sit down with the people who are genuinely building the future, not just talking about it. Today's episode is a little different. We are doing a live product demo, and there is nobody better to walk us through it than someone I already had the pleasure of speaking with back in December 2025. She's a CEO and founder of Dextego, an AI coaching platform that sits at the intersection of sales, psychology, behavioral intelligence, and real-time learning. She is based out of New York and has a background that runs from fashion to psychology to organizational development. And she has built something that I genuinely believe could change how every sales team on the planet prepares for conversations. Ioanna Onasi, welcome. Welcome back to 101 Talks. It is so good to have you here again.
Thank you so much for having me, Sachin. It's my pleasure. I'm very excited to show you a demo and talk more about everything AI in sales.
Yes, thanks for coming back. And now, for those who haven't caught up our episode, December episode, I will put the link in the description. And people who have already watched, thank you. And you already know Ioanna, and I had a conversation. And one line in particular has stayed with me. And I want to start from right there. Ioanna, last time you told us that sales in 2025 is not about the best product, it is about the best storytelling. Has anything shifted in how you think about it?
Yeah, not really in the sense that I still believe storytelling is the most important thing, but of course the product has to be there, right? Like, I'm not saying you can sell anything if you have a good story, but absolutely storytelling is number one. It's how people connect. People, if anything, more than ever, with every month passing by and more AI content online, they're looking to connect with a human. And the way humans connect from always has been stories. So I still, believe in that.
Still believe in that. I love that. And it reminds me of something you said that I thought was almost provocative. This idea that people first, technology second. In
Yes.
an industry that is drowning in tech stacks. Yeah. You have said before, sales is people first, technology second. Has anything changed in that belief as Dextego has grown? Or is the product itself now the proof point for that philosophy?
Yeah, I think a lot of people might disagree, especially the ones that are, creating AI avatars to replace the sellers. But in my opinion, no, still the people are first, should be first, and the tech should be there to allow us to understand people better, to understand ourselves better by giving us self-awareness through summaries and insights of how we did in a call, these role plays we were talking about that will show in real time now. But it should never be about the tech. There is no tech if there's no human behind it building it anyway.
Yeah. By the way, there was an irony of an AI company saying people first, because it is like you are in a gym
Yes.
and you open a burger opposite and you say we believe in the balance, right?
Yes, yes. No, it is ironic. I think I've never had it that building an AI coaching platform to make people more human is a big irony, but it is indeed, in my opinion, the best use case of AI. It should really be there to allow us to reach our full potential, not to replace us.
All right. So we have warmed up. We have got the philosophy on the table. Now let us get into what you're actually building.
Yes.
Because words are one thing, but I promised our audience something different today. We are going to see Dextego in action. Before we hit the screen, I want to set the stage. Walk us through what we are about to see. What is the experience you want our audience to have in the next few minutes?
Yes. So first of all, we'll show the main interface in terms of how a user would interact with it. We'll show the 4 AI coaches they'll have accessible. We'll talk about an example of each of the coach. Then we'll go into the admin side. So we'll act as a VP of sales, looking at the skills gaps and the user analytics of the team. And then I'd like to move into our Chrome extension, showing you an example using your actual profile as seen on LinkedIn and what
Oh,
insights Dextego will give about you.
okay.
And yeah, I'll use your profile also as an example for the role play itself. So you can tell me how accurate you think it represents you.
Okay, wonderful. This is a surprise. Let's see how it goes, right? So,
Absolutely.
so we are just not watching a product tour. We are watching something that is built on. I want to say this correctly: buyer psychographics
Mm-hmm.
and communication capability, right? That I
Absolutely.
read in your website.
Absolutely. And I'm sharing here my screen. Can you see it fine?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Perfect. So welcome everyone to the Dextego interface. So this is the main chat we have with our D agent, which is basically trained on everything Dextego related. So if a user has a question, they can come here. And it's the agent that reroutes you to the right AI coach based on your needs. So we have Tego that does the role playing. All these are coaches that are trained by human experts and tailored for each company's information, including best practices, playbooks, documentation, CRM integrations, and more. Fin is more general L&D code, so it can be used both for sales and for leadership scenarios. Esther is powered by positive psychology to motivate the troops, because we all know sales is tough. And last but not least, Arden is the leadership and career coach. So we'll go ahead
Arden,
and
Arden, Arden is a leadership coach. Esther
yes,
is a motivational coach,
yes.
and the first one is
You can see my screen?
yeah, I can see. Okay,
Yeah, Tego is role
Fin
play,
and
Fin is
Tego.
learning and development.
Okay, you can
So
go on.
to start a conversation, you go here on the left and you click the right coach. Now, let's go ahead and do an example um, with you. Or do you want me to first show an example of already done so that we can see what the ending would look like?
Yeah, let's warm up with what we have done.
Okay. So I'll scroll up. So here I chose to practice for a discovery call with Garrett. So what happened is I put his LinkedIn, and then Dextego was able to create a communication compatibility score by looking for public data to find basically what type of buyer Garrett is, how he makes decisions. In this case, it's very much focused on ROI, and how I
Mm,
can build rapport
mm,
basically by analyzing our disk and Notion profiles.
mm,
For anyone who doesn't know what disk is, it's the way we communicate and make decisions at work. It's broken down
mm,
in these 4 elements. So
mm.
I see that he's very dominant. He has high I, meaning social intelligence, high influence, and
This is dominant.
it's dominance, influence, steadiness, and conscientiousness.
Okay, this is how the communication is measured in sales,
Exactly.
right?
Yes, it's a psychographic data point that's used very much in sales versus Ocean is not that well known. It has to do with again why we make the way we behave, like why are we like that at work. It has to do more with our personality. It's basically emotional stability, openness,
Mm,
conscientiousness, extroversion. agreeableness. And the combination of these two data points give us a very accurate representation of what type of buyer we have in front of us.
Combination of disk and ocean gives you the score, right? Compatibility score.
Exactly, yes.
Okay.
And allows us to understand how to best approach that buyer.
Okay.
So in this case, we have someone who's considered a challenger. He's direct, he's decisive. We see here that if we reach out, we need to sound very confident on our tone, not too lengthy, like get to the point. So it's probably someone that doesn't have a lot of patience. And then we have the best practices and things to avoid that Dextego recommends to the seller before jumping on this call. Now, even if
all
sorry,
this
go
is
ahead.
pulled from his LinkedIn profile.
LinkedIn is just one data point. It will go and find public data about this person. So it can be Google searches, blog posts, other social media, anything we can find. Now, if you've talked to this person before, so it's someone in your pipeline with notes in CRM, we can also take the internal data and make it much more accurate.
Okay.
Now,
we can
after
include those conversations.
Yeah. So after you see here the best practices and things to avoid, you can also understand better their motivators. So in this example, we have someone who has a high need for autonomy. So whatever I'm selling him, I have to explain how it will make them more autonomous in their role. And lastly, we get here a communication approach. So Dextego recommends we use a consultative and direct style with him. It gives us a quick agenda, as well as potential objections, like here limited budget, and ideal answers based on everything Dextego knows about what this user sells, how they sell it, and who they're selling it to. Now, with those insights, we are ready to practice. So you see here it says ready to pitch. And in short, what I did is I spoke to Dextego as if I'm speaking directly to the prospect. And then here it will personify it. So it leverages all the insights I showed you above to really speak with the tone and objections and all that Garrett is likely to have. So it's super realistic. By the way, you don't have to just chat here. You can use the audio to go back and forth. And then
I can use the audio also.
Yeah. And at the bottom, you get your scorecard. So here you see 3 main scores: delivery, credibility, and comprehensibility. Clicking on the details, you see we have sub-dimensions like confidence, with strengths, areas of improvement, and recommendations. We always give also the rationale why we give a recommendation. And at the bottom, you get your top strengths, and again, areas of improvement. So you know, as you do this again and again, if there is improvement, where to focus, etc. So this is an example of a role play with Tego. Is there any question here on this before we move on?
Yes, if I understand it rightly, I give the data sources where Tego can pull data from profile, understand the profile, and give the strengths and weaknesses of that person, give a complete strategic approach, communication approach. Then I can practice with Tego, right? I can start practicing my sales pitch with Tego, and it gives the measurement skills, how the communication has gone through, right? Are we on the same page?
Yes, and then it gives you recommendations on how to improve it. For instance, if your value proposition was not strong, it will tell you like you're missing specific metrics and how to improve it, taking information from your knowledge base. So Dextego, as I mentioned initially, is also tailored for each company based on their playbooks, methodologies, etc. So it will give very specific recommendations on how to do better to increase your chances of closing the deal with that specific prospect. So it's not generic role play.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Very, very much useful for a salesperson. Right?
Absolutely, yes, because sellers don't have time to just do generic training that doesn't lead to revenue. And this is something that will really help them build that trust with the buyer and move the deal forward, because it ensures that they ask the right questions. In this case, that they're pricing for a discovery, or in a cold call, have the right opener to qualify, etc. Yeah. Now, let's say we did this practice and now we have more questions and we don't have time to go to our sales leader. We can use another coach. We can reach here Finn, which is, as I mentioned in the beginning, the leadership and development coach. And I'll scroll up. So I asked it about common objections that we get. As you see here, it gives me, for example, a budget, and it gives me an answer with how I can reframe it and what type of response I can give based on, as you see here, the sources, again, our knowledge base and the way that Dextego is trained. So another benefit here is instead of me having to go into like a playbook and look for the right answer, I can just ask here. I can also get advice during the sales process. Like I asked, how can I create urgency in an account? So the more I use it, the more it will learn about me and the company, and the better the feedback it will give me. And this is how to use Fin.
So the Finn is a leadership and development coach, right?
This is more like learning and development. Leadership
Sorry,
is
learning
Arden.
and development. Okay,
Yes.
Arden. So Finn is learning and development coach. So how is it different from what Teg is giving?
Tego is just role play and insights on your buyer. Fin is more
Okay.
brainstorming. Like here, we had these urgency questions, strategies, questions like how do I deal with a difficult colleague? Anything like soft skills related that you can think of in a workplace setting, whether it's for sales or not, Fin can actually help with.
Okay. Nice. Okay.
And the benefit of this is that it can be trained on, again, all these methodologies and best practices of a team. So it can really help save time, because instead of going to the manager all the time, you now have this safe space 24/7 you can come and brainstorm with. And it's not like at ChatGPT, which is just generic information outside of your company and no one knows how you use it. Like right now, your manager, and also that in the admin in a little bit, will understand what type of questions that you have, the team has. So we can actually use this as strategic insights to improve the playbook and other documentation internally. Now let's move to Esther, who is the motivation coach, who again is a safe space because the managers cannot see the conversations employees have with Esther. Why is that? Because we want them to feel comfortable saying things like, oh, I feel imposter syndrome, oh, my manager sucks, anything like that, so that they also understand that this is a benefit that they have within the company. They don't have to pay out of pocket, let's say, for a coach if they don't have the capacity. And it's a place where they can really vent. Like I see all the time, like people using it, for example, after a bad cold call. Like, oh, prospect yelled at me, Esther, I feel terrible, and it will motivate to you.
Very true. Safe space is very important, especially for a sales member, because there will be many questions around him about his boss or about the client, which he doesn't want to speak to the boss directly, right? So yeah,
Exactly.
it's very
Yeah.
important.
100%. And last but not least, we have Arden, the leadership coach. I'll scroll up here for an example. So these are the default types of role plays we can help with. These are all customizable, but the most common ones we see here are delivering feedback, managing conflict. So this can be used by a user who is trying to build leadership skills. Let's say they are an SDR that wants to become an SDR manager one day, or they're a first-time manager, they're now managing a team, and they need to motivate and inspire them. And they just need practicing these conversations because they might feel uncomfortable, might not have the right training within their companies, etc. And it can be used either in context of a role play or just a conversation. Now, the way it works is Arden will ask the user questions to understand the context and the goal within that skill. So here the example is there's a teammate who's not doing very great, and this manager is trying to really lead with empathy. The quality of their work has deteriorated. They just don't know how to approach it. And after the back and forth with Arden, in short, it gives a scorecard on the leadership maturity of that user, their strengths, their challenges. It gives recommendations and career advice so that they become a better manager. And it goes within areas like strategic thinking, communication, and influence, and even gives a promotion readiness score. So this can be used by HR teams to understand better, how to create succession planning. I think this is a key thing because it allows everyone no matter their seniority, to build that executive presence and practice talking to C-suite and different shareholders. So I think this really democratizes access to leadership development.
This is where a person can have a goal and practice his skills to achieve that goal, right? Goal
Yes,
of the corporate ladder.
exactly. And these were basically all the coaches. Now, the end user themselves can see, of course, their overview of these different skills over time, how they're doing, their personality traits. They can understand more about themselves through these and insights like how to improve growth opportunities, etc. Same thing for an admin user, like a VP of sales or an HR leader. They can come here in team analytics and see where is the team on average in different skills like coachability. Are they coachable? Are they sounding credible in calls? Where are the gaps? So in this case, we also have trends, etc. And you can go within user analytics over time, whether it's week, month, or year, see your top performers if you have multiple people in the team, and go within each user right before, let's say, you have a one-on-one meeting with that employee to see where are the gaps, how you can support, both on the sales front. Like here, we have a user with high persuasion, but maybe we can improve, let's say, on the credibility front a bit. But also on the leadership side, do we see leadership potential within this employee? Should we promote them? What should we do? And at the bottom, you get the top strengths and areas of improvement so you know where to focus at any point in time.
One curious question comes in mind. For a salesperson, this is a safe space, right? So, what data is actually going to the managers
Yes.
for him to access?
Yeah. So here, as I said, in conversations, you're able to see everything but Esther's conversation. So Esther, the pink one coach here, you can see this is grayed out. You cannot view her conversation. The rest you
Okay.
can, because it's important for the manager to be able to see your scorecards to understand where your skills are.
Okay. Esther keeps your secret, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And one more thing in the knowledge base is that we can upload different documents, as I said, PowerPoints, FAQs, playbooks, etc. But we also recommend, Dextego recommends based on the skills gaps of the team, what type of documents a manager should create. So I'll stop here about the web app and move on to the Chrome extension real quick to show you the insights it gives on a LinkedIn profile.
Oh, okay.
And here
This
we
is
are
my
on
profile.
yours. So click on the Dextego logo here. And
This
by
is
the
a
way,
Chrome extension of Dextego.
yes. And you see here communication compatibility. If I click on the arrow, we'll see why is that. So let me make this a little bigger. So first of all, we can see your decision factors, how to build rapport, and we can see in your disk that you're an examiner. An examiner is someone that is very high on dominance. And if you don't remember, dominance is being direct, decisive, and results focused. But also, you see that you have high conscientiousness. Conscientiousness is analytical, precise, detail oriented. So you are a go getter, yet you do it methodically. Does that resonate with you?
Yes, it does. It does. I don't know how the how Tego has found this out.
It's all the digital footprint you have out there. It's fascinating what AI can do today. And then here on the emotional stability, you have extremely high score. So you're someone that doesn't get stressed easily, maybe in terms of uncertainty. Like you're usually pretty calm and collected. Is that true?
Yeah. I'm balanced. I don't take
Awesome.
stress that easily.
There you go. So in terms of you being a buyer, it says how to deal with you. You might be a little slow and cautious because you're more analytical, right? So as a seller, I
Very
should
much
ask you
true.
more questions, spend time addressing your concerns around risk and change, ask them if there's other stakeholders involved, don't push too much, give you time. So you are the type of buyer actually that doesn't love the storytelling. You want to know the facts. You want to know more the product. That's interesting.
This Dextego is a magician.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Let's see here. Yeah, so you're very focused on the data driven benefits basically, which makes sense. Taking your disc profile. Okay. So yeah, here basically is how you can access Dextego on the extension, and then you can even start your practice based on the type of call you want to practice here. So you don't have to go in the main web app.
Wow. Okay. I'm just loving the app.
I'm so
It makes
glad.
things very easy. Yeah.
Now, do we have 2 more minutes to show you one more thing?
Yeah.
Awesome.
If you
So
have time.
just wanted to show you quickly an example of how Tego can join a call, like for real-time coaching. So here's an example of like a Zoom call where you see on the left the live transcript, and then on the right, Dextego's AI coach Tego has joined to give suggested responses based on objections the buyer might have. So it's not like a teleprompter, like it will go away if basically there's no question, and then it will show up again when there is some sort of objection. You can see also it will track if your methodology like MEDPIC or BAND, for example, is being followed, and the agenda.
This is tracked
The
live
Yeah, yeah. If you
during the
remember,
conversation. Yeah.
yes, if you remember, because we do the communication compatibility in the web app, we can also do it for the call. So it's not just giving you suggestions based on your playbook, but based on who you're speaking to. So what we just did, the example of you being more analytical in comparison to a storyteller, it would recommend that the seller gives you more data. So this is the future of coaching real time. And then after the call, we're able to pick up things like key insights and objections, but also tell you how much you as a seller followed the recommendations of the AI coach. Why? Because we can pick up the question the prospect said, the recommendation of our AI coach, and what you as a seller responded. And the beauty of that is that we can prove, and I'll stop sharing here, that if you do follow the recommendations, your chances of increasing win rates stage per stage also increase. So it's becoming very apparent that the more AI, evolves, and the less time people have to practice because they're always on calls and doing other activities, the ROI calculation can be happening at the back end, telling you basically how much value and how many deals you were able to save because of these recommendations.
See, one thing I wanted to ask you,
Mm-hmm.
Yuna. See, during any sales, right? It is not just what we say; it is also the tone how we say it, right? So,
Yes.
is Dextego able to capture the tone and also give us a feedback on the tone of the sales?
100%. It's about body language, it's about tone, voice. What you say is a combination of all. And the idea is to not just tell you as a seller what was your emotion, let's say, during the call, but the prospects too. At what point, when you said what, did the prospect turn from happy to upset? Like, was the pricing? Was the competitor mentioned? Like, what happened? Because really, these are the insights someone needs. Because if I am a sales leader and I haven't had time to review the call, or I was not able to attend, I want to know how my sales team is making our prospects feel, because that will allow me to understand the data, closed won, closed lost deals easier. Are we losing because it's our seller's fault? Is our sellers make them upset? Or is it that our product isn't good, or what is it?
And how quickly does Dextego react to changes in tone or wording mid conversation? Is it tracking every sentence real time?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
tone
it's
also.
real time. Yeah.
Okay, okay. And say, so there will be two sales rep who will be using the same conversation, the
Mm-hmm.
same type of language. So they might be different because of the tone. And Dextego realizes this, right? And it might give measure a sales rep, one sales rep A different from sales rep B because of this. Am I
Yes.
on the correct
You're
page?
exactly right. And the same thing is like me and let's say my colleague John checking Dextego to see
Mm,
how to approach you. Like I just showed your
mm.
communication
Mm.
compatibility is high. Maybe with someone else, it's 40% because they're a different person. So absolutely, there's no two people, sellers that have the same experience using Dextego. It's really
I love that
personalized to who they are.
because it is not about a perfect sim. It is about developing your own best version.
Exactly. And that's what makes us human, right? Like, we don't want to
Mm,
sound the same. We're not robots. It's just
mm.
finding what makes you unique and really amplifying that in comparison to who you're speaking to, like knowing your audience. Because it's okay to adapt, like, we have to be chameleons in sales, but that doesn't mean you have to be fake. You have to still stay authentic in who you are.
So each time as a sales rep, I use Dextego for the
Mm-hmm.
same personality, same buyer persona, same specific buyer, right? So each time I use, will Dextego react to me in the same way, or it adapts and it grows, and every time it improves me? How is the loop
Yeah,
going to
of
be?
course it will improve, and especially if you had multiple calls with that person, like it's not just role play, like you actually went and talked to them, and then we took those data points in because of the recordings. We will take all this information and make it even more realistic and better next time, and give you feedback like, Sachin, in the last call you had, prospect talked about pricing being too high. Focus on this in your next call. Like, it will really push you based on what happened before. It won't be the same. And the beauty with that in the context of a team is that it has so much more data point because there's more people using it. So there is such an instant feedback loop. Like, the manager doesn't have to wait to talk to everybody and then understand what to change in the playbook, etc. It automatically coaches the reps on the best practices across the team because we're live in calls and we know what's going on.
So the sales rep repeats the same scenario, but the Dextego evolves each time.
Exactly.
And makes the sales job better. Oh, all right, all right. So we have come off screen, and what we saw is not incremental improvement on how sales team currently train. This is a structural shift.
Absolutely.
I want to address the elephant in the room. Most coaching still happens after the call is lost. Why are teams still stuck in that loop? What does it actually cost them in real revenue terms?
Yeah, it's such a great question, which of course depends on their ACV and like how quickly their sales cycle is. But what we see on average with Dextego clients is that they're able to increase win rates by 15% and shorter those sales cycles by 30% because they're asking the right qualification questions from the first moment. And really, a good closer is a good like discovery call seller. Your sales really happens in the discovery stage because after that it's just process, is sending the contracts, getting the right people in. But if you haven't done a good job in discovery, it's so hard to go back after the fact. And most teams stuck in this, and then the deal is pushed to next quarter, next quarter. With Dextego, the emphasis is really on that first discover call because we get so much, again, information on the psychographic side, so we know who we're dealing with. And based on the archetype of that person, we're able to really ask the correct questions, understanding they're qualified or not. So not only this person shows up prepared in the call, but now in real time they have a in-flight assistant giving them suggestions on how to answer objections. So the credibility goes up, trust goes up, and it's not a distraction. It's not like I'm reading a script. So I'm still present in the call, building that relationship with my prospect. And that's why this is like very realistic that it leads to revenue benefits for a company.
To underline what you said, using Dextego is showing 15% win
Mm-hmm.
rates and 30% shorter cycles. Sales cycles is shorter by 30%, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you partly answered it. What actually changes a seller's behavior that produces those numbers? Uh, is it confidence, preparation, or something else entirely?
It's a combination. It's definitely confidence because if I show up more prepared and I know that I also have an assistant with me in the call, of course, subconsciously I'll feel more relaxed, more present, which is key. I will also be able to qualify better. So I'll know that my numbers, my forecast will be more accurate. So that gives me peace of mind. I know what I'll close this month or next. And it's really gravitas and influence, which are key in today's sales world. Because when I know you as a prospect, I know your company, and I'm prepared, and I ask you the right questions that open up the conversation, and now you see me more as an equal rather than just a salesperson asking you for money, then that changes the whole game. And a seller's confidence is really built then when they start seeing that the prospect sees them more as a strategic partner than just, oh, this is an SDR, someone trying to hit quota. Right. So I think overall, these are the main characteristics changing.
Yeah. Let us shift perspective now, because a lot of people watching this are not just sellers, they are managers, they are
Mhm.
founders, they're heads of revenue who are responsible for an entire sales team performance. So let me ask this from their seat. From a sales leader watching it right now, what does onboarding a team onto Dextego actually look like? And how long before they genuinely feel the difference?
Yeah, great question. The onboarding itself is very quick. We do 30-minute kickoff call where we onboard your reps. You can integrate to CRM, call recorders, calendar with one button. And really the benefits are immediate because the reps are practicing for their upcoming calls within a day. Let's say they have 5 calls and they practice just 5 minutes each. In 25 minutes, like the benefits are incredible. You don't have to send them to do a 2-hour course that's generic and doesn't convert to anything. They now get to see exactly who in their pipeline is more aligned with their personality, how to approach them, etc. And so honestly, what we do usually within the first 2 weeks that a company signs up, we're able to create a report with all the team skills gaps and analytics that is pretty in depth, telling you who's coachable, who is able to handle objections the best, for example, things like that, so that you get a diagnostic of your team and then know where to focus your energy. Because as a sales leader, your time is the most crucial thing you have. So you need to know which reps to have on your watch radar and who are okay. You can let them go in calls and you'll know they'll nail every single one.
On a lighter note, you already during the demo informed that Dextego can identify coachability or leadership potential very early before the
Yes.
performance numbers tell you, right? Because every manager has that one rep who's incredibly charming in interviews, mysterious in the first quarter, and then quietly exits by month 6. If Dextego can flag that in week 2, you just saved every sales leader,
100%. Yes, yes. No, and
right?
I love that, no one can hide with AI. That's the thing. No one can hide
Mm,
because before maybe your numbers were not that great, but every time you had a one-on-one with your manager, you told them something good that happened in a call and they got excited and they're like, okay, they got this. Now every day this is calculating how you're doing your scores and stuff. So it will really be a fair way to assess your team at any given time and not just what you think about it. That's why it's even used right now as part of interviews as well. We have teams using it to interview reps and give them role plays and stuff to see are they actually doing a good job or they're just good talkers.
that's wonderful. And you mentioned earlier that Dextego's bigger ambition goes well beyond sales team. So you started with sellers, but vision is the enterprise coaching layer across departments. Where are you standing right now on that
Yes.
journey?
Yeah, I think the skill set that we help people develop is so transferable, right? Like whether you do customer success and sales or marketing or anything else in the team, you need to learn these key skills. They can help with team communication and cross collaboration, especially in a remote world. So I think it's imperative that we do it for everybody in a working environment. And we are actually actively on that path where we believe coaching will be much more proactive. So depending on basically Dextego being on the background and analyzing different things, it can recommend to its employee, hey, like you have this performance call coming up. Let's practice how you're going to speak to your employee. Or you have this call with customer success and sales for a renewal. Let's practice. So I truly believe that the future of enterprise coaching is not just so that it becomes accessible to all, but it will be much more proactive in guiding us and improving those relationships between employees. Because back to the motivation in the workplace has decreased a lot because of bad relationships between managers and employees where they don't feel seen, they don't feel heard, they don't feel pushed. So I truly believe the future of workplaces is much more positive and that reducing the cost of coaching because of AI will allow people to flourish at work.
All my best wishes for
Thank you.
achieving that vision of yours. Yeah.
Thank you.
And we will shift gears completely.
Okay.
We'll go to the rapid fire. Rapid fire, you may know. Same rules as December. Instinct only, no thinking. You ready?
Let's do it. Yes.
One thing Dextego does that still surprises even now, even you.
Oh my God, one thing that surprises me actually could be that the motivation part, because it became kind of randomly, like when we started the company with my first CTO, Sean, he really thought, oh, it would be fun to add this, and now has become core of what we do when we just started more for role play. Yeah. Products have
So
a way to shape themselves somehow always differently than you initially thought about them.
So the motivation space is surprising you even now.
Yes.
Wow. And this is a wonderful question. Tego, Finn, Esther, or Arden? Which coach do you personally use most, and which coach is your favorite?
I use Tego a lot for sales as I do founder-led sales. My favorite one is Arden because I put the most, I think, thinking behind it. Like, how can we develop a leadership coach to really build the next gen of leaders in the AI era? Like, what skills do they need, and how do we develop them through role plays and through a screen, really?
My personal coach will be Esther because he keeps all my secrets.
Yes, this is good. She doesn't say anything to anyone.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
uh,
good.
Biggest misconception people have about AI coaching.
I think it's what you said that is after the call. Okay, yeah, I have a call recorder, so I coach my team. No, you don't. You just get a summary of what happened. This is not coaching. Coaching has to be the right time in the right tone for the right reasons, and it has to be actionable. If it doesn't change behavior, it's not coaching, it's just information sharing. And to me, behavioral change is equal to success of what we do. If we cannot change any behavior, like we can prove that there is an upward trend in a skill, then we haven't coached anyone.
Yeah. And cold DMs, people always say cold DMs are dead, right? But in our previous conversation, you said cold DMs are not dead.
Mhm.
And let us remind everyone, you and I connected through one cold DMs, right?
Yes.
So the evidence speaks for itself. So what is your thought right now on that?
Yeah, I still believe the same. They're not dead at all. Like, I still meet so many people through cold DMs. Yes, it's very hard to get replies, but that has to do again with your messaging, relevance, and timing. But they're still very much working. That's how a lot of my meetings, even this week, took place just because of cold DMs that either I sent or I received. So I'm still very much in favor of them.
Wow. And finally,
Mhm.
during our last conversation, last rapid fire exactly, to be precise, you mentioned that you have 2 to 3 coffees a day. Is it changed from the time when we spoke? You are a co-founder. Now you are a founder. So has that coffee intake increased to a point of no return?
No, it hasn't increased. What increased is just working out, and working out gives me lots of energy, so don't need more coffee.
So you already has done that. Yeah. And we are closing on the rapid fire. But I have one last question, Iona.
Tell me.
And this one is for a specific part of our audience that I think about a lot, India.
Mm-hmm.
We have one of the youngest workforces in the world. We are becoming a serious global sales and GCC hub. And a lot of young professionals here are genuinely hungry, but are not sure how to compete globally, not just on cost, but on quality, confidence, and communication. For that young sales professional in India, ambitious, working in a GCC or a fast growing startup, what is that one unfair advantage a tool like Let's to Go gives them on the global stage?
Practice makes perfect. I think the best thing you can do if you're applying, let's say, in a role somewhere in another country is being able to prove that you already know how to sell within their ICP. And the best way to do it is give them an example of the role play you did in Dextego. Like, I always say that to people. Words don't matter, it's actions. If you can prove, hey, here's my scorecard, this is the role play I did with your persona, I'm confident I can sell your product, hire me. It's a very different conversation than just telling them, yeah, I think I'm a great seller because I have great persuasion skills. Show me you got them because you can give me data around it. And Dextego gives you that opportunity and you can use it for free. Like, you can go on our website, download the extension for 5 profiles for free per month. Like, there's no excuse to not being able to develop yourself right now in the world we live in. And there's no excuse to not do the extra step, because everyone does the bare minimum. Everyone will write a perfect cover letter leveraging ChatGPT, right? So what's that one thing you can do to show that you're ready?
Wonderful. Go and download the Dextego app for 1 month now itself, is my advice to my audience.
And whatever else I can do to help the audience, happy to be in touch. They can reach out on LinkedIn, and I'm sure we'll talk again in a new section you'll do for the podcast, because I see you keep growing it.
Yeah, no, this has been one of my favorite episodes because I genuinely think what you're building is one of those rare things that makes people better at not just sales, but being a better human being by increasing their confidence levels, their skill sets, not by just replacing the skill, but giving them a safe place to build it also.
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much, Satsina. This was wonderful. Thanks for your time, and best of luck on everything as well.
Thank you. And I will give the link of Dextego in the description. I will also give your connect details in the description. So anybody who wants to connect with you can contact you.
Sounds
Thank you for
great.
joining.
Thank you.
You are watching One-on-One Talks with Sachin Menon, where we break in big complex ideas into simple, grounded conversations. Thank you. See you in the next episode.